Raise your hand if you predicted Anthony Bennett from UNLV would be the first selection in the NBA draft. Now raise both hands if you tweeted out that prediction. I'm going to put both of mine down now because I did neither. To discuss what everyone is talking about on Twitter today, we bring in our first pick, the #1 hoops expert in America and our CI colleague, Seth Davis. Seth, time for a little retweet or delete, and the subject is the NBA draft, starting with this one from Elton Brown. He says, Anthony Bennett is, to me, a great #1 pick, plays just like Larry Johnson. He will turn some heads. Watch, trust me. So, Seth, retweet or delete?
Well, I'll retweet it, even though I don't quite agree with all of it. I thought that Ben McLemore was the most talented player in the draft and should have gone #1. Having said that, I did like the Bennett pick because, to me, you're at least getting a little bit outside the box, taking a risk, looking for the best player available at the #1 pick, as opposed to just something to fill a need. So I give a big thumbs up to the Cleveland Cavaliers. You know, everyone compared him to Larry Johnson, but I think that's because he played at UNLV. His game doesn't really resemble LJ's so much as I think it resembles. He's got a little Glenn Robinson in him, the old big dog, the older Glenn Robinson back in Purdue, as a guy who can play inside and out. He's got to mature, get in better condition, but I thought it was a very inspired pick, so I'm going to retweet that one.
All right, Seth, you mentioned Ben McLemore. Next up, it's none other than the king himself. LeBron tweeted this. He said, they sleeping on Ben McLemore, just watch. Followed up by Mike Malone and Chris Gent will be perfect for Ben McLemore. Love those two guys in Cleveland. King James expects big things from the former Jayhawk in California. Do you retweet or delete that?
Well, I think the king should be retweeting me because that's what I was writing on Twitter all the last few days, that I thought Ben McLemore was the most talented player in the draft, the player who will play in an all-star game the soonest of any player in this draft. And, you know, LeBron mentioned Chris Gent, who worked with him when LeBron was with the Cleveland Cavaliers. Chris played at Ohio State, has been an assistant coach at Ohio State the last few years, and just got hired by Mike Malone at the Sacramento Kings. So, you know, it was kind of an odd night for McLemore, the fact that he was speculated as a #1 pick and slid all the way to #7, but a really good night for the Sacramento Kings, who, let's face it, have been a bit of a star-crossed franchise, to be polite. So it's a great fit for Sacramento. I think that McLemore is going to fit in quite well there. I'm going to retweet the king. All
right, and I like the bow tie he had on, too, last night, and a smile at all times. I mean, he wasn't fazed by anything, really enjoyed the moment. All right, how about this, though, from Greg Gersak? Victor Oladipo is the safest pick in the draft. The worst he'll be is a lockdown defender. So, Seth, are you retweeting this one? Was Oladipo the safest pick?
You know, I'm deleting that one. I don't know what safe means. I mean, certainly in terms of his character, his work ethic, his professional approach, the way that he's improved himself. This is a guy who was not even a top 100 player coming out of high school and now is the #2 pick in the draft. It's a great story. I don't understand, quite frankly, why he was so highly thought of that so many teams are trying to get him at #2. I mean, he is basically very limited at the offensive end, and the NBA game in particular, Ray, as you know, is very offensive oriented. Yes, you got to play defense. Yes, defense wins championships, but you also got to score points. And I think that Victor Oladipo has a long, long way to go as an offensive player. So to me, Otto Porter would have been a safer pick because he excels at more areas of the game. So solid pro. He's not going to let you down. He's not going to embarrass you. You know what you're going to get, but I would not call him the second best player in this draft. So I shall delete.
All right. Finally, Seth, what would draft night be without some fun and fashion, hairstyles, the whole bit? Nerlens Noel, we know what he's got going on there, but check out this tweet from Luke Zimmerman. Quote, this just happened, with a photo of Lucas Bebe Nogueira and David Stern. That hat, Seth, I mean, that is way too small for the big man's melon and that crop of hair he's got going. Seth, you retweet or delete the Lucas look?
Absolutely retweet. I mean, I thought it was terrific. I mean, here's a kid, an international kid, getting picked in the NBA draft, standing next to David Stern. I love the hair. I'm just jealous that I don't have hair like that. My hair is going in a different direction than his is at this point. So I will retweet that look as often as he would like. It was just great to see the young man so happy. All
right, Seth, thanks very much. The 2013 NBA draft is in the books, so who will headline next year's draft? Check out our Follow Friday here on CampusInsiders.com.